Hey everybody! Koricon here, and we're going to be looking at this title announcement for Zero. But the poster is called Zero. And if the video is announcing the title, the poster did that they released. So I'm not really sure the point of this. However, I've been told by a few people, and I was talking to Sergeant Rocco this morning, and he told me that to do it. That's what I'm gonna do. Now, I heard about this movie, that it was gonna be Shah Rukh's new movie where he's gonna play a dwarf, and you can see in the poster that he's a dwarf there. Kind of interesting, a little odd, but I'll talk about my views on it afterwards because I want to see what they got. So let's jump into it. We'll see what this title announcement is. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get too much because the movie doesn't come out until December 21st of this year, so we have like a year to wait pretty much. So let's see what they got, and then we'll go through it. Shah Rukh. Wow. Wow, the face replacement on that looks great. Huh. Couple of things I'd like to go over. First off, I'd like to have some help with this. What are all of these titles? Pagal. Mental. Like, are these other movies? Or, like, I'm curious. I'm not really sure what those words mean. Look at this. He's a dwarf, and it looks like what they're doing is they got a dwarf actor to do all of the body movements, and then he's doing a face replacement. That's what I'm assuming, and that's what most films would do. However, when I saw Fan, when I reviewed Fan, they didn't do face replacement for that one. They actually changed his entire body. They went in with CGI and like decreased the shoulders, made the arms a bit smaller, made him a little bit shorter. They spent a lot of time to make him look physically different so that Shah Rukh Khan could do the physical movements of the acting. Now with this, I'm kind of hoping they did not do that, because the amount of work it would take to pull that off to make him look like a dwarf would be insanely labor intensive. And I would think it would be not unrealistic, but unnecessary. For one thing, he couldn't do what he did in Fan, which was to just make himself shorter and then make his own body type, you know, a little thinner and a little smaller on the shoulders kind of thing. But arm length, leg length, certain things like that were more just decreased by a percentage, but they weren't shortened or altered. Now with a dwarf, when you have dwarfism or other short people, they have different physical attributes. Like a lot of dwarves have larger chest cavities. Now he doesn't. So I'm not sure if he's dwarfism or just a small person. Because some small people have a physical body that is very similar to a large person. Dwarves have more of a large chest cavity. You know, the ribs and the chest bone is larger, so they have a bigger chest, and their arms are longer. In this, it looks more like a regular small person. Like, I don't like to use the word midget because I've heard that a lot of small people don't like that term, but it's kind of like what I'm saying is the midget is different from a dwarf. And this looks like a midget, but in a lot of the other stuff, they say dwarf. So I apologize to any short people that don't like the term midget, let me know of another term I can use, and I'm really sorry. But anyway, this doesn't look like dwarfism. This looks like the other. However, I could be very wrong, and it might be the other way around. But that's what I seem to remember. Their physical attributes are different from regular tall people. And so they couldn't just decrease a percentage of size, because that wouldn't look right. This looks right, and it would take a lot more CG alteration to make him look like a dwarf or a midget. What would be better is if they hired a small person to play the physical role, the body role, that he would train and work with so that they could duplicate the movements that Shah Rukh Khan would want him to do, that he would end up wanting to do himself, and then do face replacement or head replacement to have Shah Rukh Khan's head. Now the CGI for that face replacement, if that's what they're doing, is really good. Like you can't really see where the connection is, like where the CG starts. They blended that very well. When you see movement, you don't see much change in that. For these shots, I would think that they would hire a small person to do the movements and the dancing. You know, get a dancer, someone that Shah Rukh Khan can train with, you know, so that they can mimic each other very well, and then do the face replacement. But it looks great. I mean, it looks amazing. I knew that they were going to show the dwarf. I mean, because they have him in the poster. So obviously they're going to put him in here. I didn't know how much, and I didn't know what they were going to do. So with the title announcement, I thought it would be mostly that. But there's a lot of words in there that I don't know. So I'm not really sure what those titles are. I might be missing something or just not remembering something. So please let me know. They gave us a lot more of him as the small person that I was expecting. Because I saw an interview with Shah Rukh Khan somewhere. I don't know if it was a Facebook or a Twitter interview. It just kind of stumbled upon it. But he was talking about that they're putting in an immense amount of work in the CGI to do the conversion. But I'm not really sure how much of the conversion they're doing. So they ended up spending a lot of time to make this teaser, this little title announcement. Now, I'm not sure if they filmed the entire movie yet, or if they just filmed this, because there's a lot of Indian films that will film like a music video, or a couple of music videos that they release ahead of time of the movie before they even film the movie. And then they just drop those music videos into the movie, which I'm not a huge fan of them doing that, because a lot of times it pulls you out of the film. I much prefer dance sequences to take place in the movie. They showed a dance sequence, and it looks like it does probably take place in the film, because you had people in a party. At the party, then he shows up. That doesn't quite feel like a music video to me. That feels like part of the story, because the dancers aren't already behind him and ready to go. It looks like he kind of surprised a party. So I'm thinking it's part of the storyline, and they did all of the dance sequence inside the film, on location of whatever it is that they're doing. I like that. And that's what I'm hoping that they do. But if that's the case, then they may have already started filming the movie. That part took place in the beginning of the film, or they filmed it specifically first to get it out as a teaser. But I'm hoping that they either already started filming or are completed with the filming. Because if they're doing this much CGI from what they've been talking about in that interview with Shah Rukh Khan, then they're going to need the entire year to be able to pull that off. Because every scene that he's in, which is going to be most of the scenes, I can't really imagine too many scenes that won't have him in it. Maybe some B-roll, second unit kind of directed scenes. So you're going to have a lot of CGI effects that's going to take place throughout the entire film. And you're going to need the whole year to be able to pull that off. You have major movies like Lord of the Rings or the major MCU movies. Anything that's really effects heavy, they spend a good year to 13 to 15 months, sometimes 18 months to pull off all of that CGI, because there's so much CGI in there. So hopefully they're done with filming, or going to be done with filming pretty soon, so that they have that time to work on the CGI effects so that it looks proper in December when the movie gets released. Now, since they also released this teaser that has the CGI in it, which I think was more of a test to see if they could actually do it, that the people doing the CGI artwork is going to be working on it as soon as the footage is done. So things are going to be coming in while they're filming the movie, and they're going to start on it immediately. If they do that, then the director needs to have a very clear plan of every shot that's going to be in it and a really good idea of how the editing process is going to go. Because you don't want to spend a lot of time working on a scene or a sequence that's going to take you a month or 2 months to render the CGI for it and then end up cutting that out of the film. So he should have a very good plan of how it's going to be edited and how it all fits together before they start shooting. I'm really curious to see what they do with it. I would love to see some behind the scenes on this. It's one of those kind of movies that I would love to see behind the scenes, and I love those kind of behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, that looks cool. I would love to see more. Can't wait for an actual teaser or a trailer for this. Something that has some more of the storyline that's involved, because the CGI could look amazing. But if the story isn't that intriguing, then it doesn't matter. The music sounded pretty good in that sequence that they had. It was catchy. I was getting into it, but I would also like to hear a bit more of that. So let me know what you guys think. What do you think of that CGI? What do you think they're doing? Are they going to do a head replacement of a small person that Shah Rukh Khan works with closely to make sure that they can mirror the movements that he would want them to do? Or is he going to be doing it all physical himself, and they're going to go in with CGI and alter his body like they did in Fan, except on a much grander scale, which is a possibility, because they could have used Fan as a test movie to see if it's even possible to do, and they feel like they've perfected that technology to be able to do this movie. I mean, that could be it too. I just think it's a lot of work, and I'm not sure if it would be valuable time. But if they want to do it and they got the money to spend for it, you know, that's not up to me. So I'm excited. I would like to see more. It looks really interesting. I'm intrigued. But let me know what you guys think. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Also, I've got links to all of my stuff in the description below. We've got the Patreon, Mailbox to mail things, all my social medias. There's a bunch of stuff, so check that out. Also, tonight at 11 p.m. my time, which is Mountain Standard Time in the United States, that would be 11:30 a.m. in India, I'm going to have the Kannada film teaser for Kurukshetti. So look for that. That's going to come out at 11:30 Indian time, 11 p.m. Mountain Time in the US. If you're on SoundCloud listening to the podcast of this, give me a follow, and you can check out the video. If you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you on the next video.